I'm excited today to feature a special guest on the channel. My daughter will be joining us, and she'll be teaching me some of the techniques that she knows for miniatures painting. So what we're trying to do today is bring the board gaming hobby together with the miniatures painting hobby. We're absolute beginners, so don't expect too much. Our featured game, River Horse, has sent me Jim Henson's Labyrinth. So we've got 5 different miniatures to choose from, and we'll take you through all of our steps. We actually have about 7 steps that we're going to teach you today, and how to take it from its gray plastic to a much more refined and beautiful look. This is Legendary Tactics. Just before I invite my daughter to join us, and she won't be appearing on camera today, but I'd like to take you through what the basics are here. So we have 7 steps we're going to start with. We'll do a primer, and we've got the white and the black. We'll do some underpainting. This is an optional step that more advanced people like to use. We're not more advanced, but we're going to try it anyways. There's base coloring, there's layering, shades and washing, balancing and highlight, and then there's the varnish at the end, or the coat, and we've got a few different products we're going to try for that. So we'll take you through all of what we're using and how we're doing that today. So here we go. Okay, so I've got my assistant here today. Thank you for joining me. What we're going to start with today, let's actually begin with the game, if you could pass that over. So let's get into it and we'll check out what's here. So this is based on the old movie, and it's a movie that I would say maybe doesn't stand the test of time. It's David Bowie was in it. Lots of 80s music, lots of singing. And it's one that I didn't see when I was in the 80s, thankfully. So I'm actually quite glad for that. But it was a little bit fun to go back and watch it before we did this. So at least we'll know who the characters are. And I think that might be the starting stages. Get to know who your miniatures are and if they're established characters. And then you can build from there. So Jim Henson was a master, though, and I can't take anything away from him that way. He was fantastic. So, okay. Oh, look at this. There are going to be some character cards so that we can use those when we're painting. So that is going to be very useful here. So we'll check out. We've got Hoggle, Ludo, Sir Didymus, and Sarah. So we've just got the 4 of them. So this is actually really useful for us. So we'll be able to keep those at hand. Now you go ahead and choose which figures you'd like to draw, or paint, I should say. All right, you're gonna go for Sarah. Do you want to grab a second one there? Ludo, very nice. Okay, and I think I better go for the creepy man, Jareth. And you know what? Let's leave this fella. What was his name again? So we're gonna go leave Sarah there for you to look at. And Hoggle. I think I'll start, oh, you know what? I don't have his colors, which means I can be creative. Okay, I'll start with him. Sir Didymus is actually going to be the challenge. You know what? Maybe I will start with him after all, because we've got actually 2 different characters to do there. And then Ludo. Which one are you starting with? Perfect. Okay, so let's put him over here. And we are going to start with our paint. So we have an acrylic paint set here. We decided to go with the metallic and the neon colors. Really, I think with acrylics, this was from Michaels. You can go with whatever acrylics you want based on the look you're going for. But with board gaming, I figured there would be, oh, this is nice. I figured we would have a lot of shields and weaponry, that sort of thing. Wow, so there are a lot of colors to choose from here. Okay. So we should get our brushes ready to go. Do you have some fine brushes over there? Oh, very nice. So we should probably get one of these each. Ooh, these are fancy. All right. Choose your weapons. Those two. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. So get our paints just off camera here. And get our subjects in frame. We also have a 25 piece. So just to give you a sense of how much I spent on this, it was 30% off. I think we were about, was it $15 for this maybe? And about $25 for the paints. We got an extra set of brushes. And we also got this Artist Loft palettes and knife set. So we've got lots of good stuff here. We'll have to decide which of these we think will be most useful. So here's a knife for you. I'll take a knife. Go with this one because it'll fit just on the edge of the frame here. Perfect. Okay. Now, the first stage for this is the primer stage. So I think we probably want to start with either a dark primer or a light primer. It'll depend on our character. So Jareth, for instance, he's one who at the beginning he was very dark, and there was later in the video or later in the film he went into light clothing, so I'll have to decide which outfit we're going with. This looks like it might be his light clothing. So she's probably light. Mm-hmm. He would probably be fine to be light, so maybe we'll go with this primer then.
Yeah.
And now, interestingly enough, this tone is going to end up being our mid-tone. So you would think that because it's the base and it's the first layer we put on, that it would be the bottom layer, but it's not. Because later on we'll be doing some layering, some shading, some washing, and we'll be getting really down deep into the recesses of the characters, and that will actually be the base tone. So this one is looking more in sort of that mid-range, but and I'm thinking we should probably prime all of these at once so that later when we want to paint the other ones, they're all done. So we'll cut right now and we'll go do the priming, and we'll come back in here in about 15 minutes or so. Okay, so we have finished priming these. We decided to go with the white. I think that was a good choice. We are noticing that there's a bit of flaking going on. We haven't actually let these dry for 24 hours, so some of this is coming off now, so maybe not the best. You probably want to leave it a little bit longer. But we've given it a soft misting, and it seems to have gotten right into all of the cracks and crevices. So let's begin the next stage. So we are going to do some underpainting here. So the idea with this is that we add contrast to our models before we start building up the colors. And so basically this is painting in black and white. So we've already got the white, and so now we can build up some upper layers and make highlights and shadows look really cool. And what I'm going to suggest for this one is that we actually use a big fat brush. So you can use this one if you like. This is a new technique that neither of us have tried. And by the way, all of what we're doing here is brand new to us. So if you do have suggestions on how we can do this better, please make them. And my daughter has picked out some colors for her character. We've got metallic black, bronze, copper, metallic white, and metallic blue. So are you thinking pants for this? Probably. We've got the white shirt, copper and bronze, probably a mixture of skin tones there, and the metallic black, so maybe for some highlights, the hair, that sort of thing. For my character, we've got the white, probably the dog will be a bit white. I might need a bit of a gray too for the dog, just to make his hair a little bit fluffy. We got some green. Looks like these sort of hand gauntlets are green. Some blue, yellow, purple, and the metallic red. So we'll just set these up here for now. And we can get to those when we need them. So how this technique works is that we'll need... How is it flaking off? It's too bad. We'll need a paper towel. So some of the supplies you might need in addition, some clean water, the paper towel. This will be to wipe that off. So what we're going to do is find a color that we want to highlight across the model. So I'm wondering for this guy if I should maybe go with some yellows and just sort of brush some, or actually, you know what, I'm going to go with the darker grays to get some of that for the dog. So we'll go with this guy here. And what do you think? Should I use this circle or this part? Probably the circle, eh? Yeah. For a little bit of gray. Probably won't need a lot there. And what color do you want to go with to sort of brush over top? And the idea, we want to get the brush a little bit wet. Get some paint there. And then you want to basically brush it so there's almost nothing left on the brush. And then you take it and you lightly go over your creature, and it's mostly going to stick just on the higher part, the raised parts. So it'll add sort of some contrast on your model. It won't go down into the cracks the way the other coat did. So as I say, this is painting in black and white essentially first, just to bring up some of the higher bits. Okay, so I think I'm done with that phase. Oh yeah, that's cool. See how it's doing the hair there? It's getting her hair so there are streaks where it's like brighter, but there's like highlights underneath. So that's kind of cool. Next up, we've got some base coloring. So what we're going to do, this is the part that I think a lot of beginning model painters do, is they find the colors they want to use. You're going to use your very precise brush, and you'll pick out which areas you want to do. And so these are sort of the main coloring, the basic level. It's going to be very flat, and it'll be the sort of individual parts of your model. So this is going to be a little tricky. So let's go with, I guess I'll go with some reds for his shirt. Shading and washes. So to add contrast so this is where you really thin down a color and you like almost wash the whole thing and it goes to the recess. You have to be careful because if you do it badly, you have to restart. But like pick a predominant color. So like maybe you want to go with like that bronzy color. And then it's like mostly water with a little bit of the bronze. And then you thin down, the paint tends to gather in the nooks and the depths. And use it gives it like a rusty, warm feel. Black or blue washes cool the mini, and they're good for areas with lots of texture, so try not to put it on areas that don't have a lot of texture. Yeah. Balancing highlights. So now you go back and you find like tiny details from the mini and make them stand out. Choose complementary colors, add some shine to rivets or make teeth shine. So it's like, you know how they've got like a ping and like their little
Right.
it's like the very, very, very fine details.